Hi everybody, it's Michelle again. This is part 2 of the swap with Rose. It might look a little bit different to the last one. When Rose and I were chatting, she said she'd love to see things from New Zealand because she's never been here, and that not to spend money but just maybe to go and just to save some packaging and different things from here. So I thought from that sounded like a lot of fun, so I had to go to town on that one. So what I've done is put together a little book, so it ended up getting a bit big and I had to stop myself from putting anything else into it, and just grabbed together lots of little bits and pieces that I found about NZ. So I'll tell you about it. So Where in the World is New Zealand is what I've called it, and I've put up here our silver fern, and that is probably an emblem of New Zealand that all our sports people wear on their shirts, and it's just a special thing to us. I've also put on a rugby ball because we do like our rugby here in New Zealand, and last year we hosted the Rugby World Cup, and it was just a fantastic time. If you didn't see or hear about it, we had a country just full of flags, and flags from all around the world. We had the team here from the United States, and they had a city that sort of supported them and had flags for them, and it was just fantastic time. So I wanted to remember that, and then I just put on a piece of New Zealand power shell, another silver fern charm, and little koru. So that is Where in the World is New Zealand. So then I've popped on here just lots of fun stuff. So it's just a fun book, it's not a serious book at all. So it's, as you can see, weird New Zealand stuff. So hopefully I'm in shot there. Let me just double check here. Sorry, I don't want to film everything and then find I missed half of it because it's going in the post in about 2 minutes. And I'm really thrilled with this one. So just found a map book at the op shop, so I ripped up a few maps. And then I cut just lots of pictures of New Zealand and stuck them all down. And I put in here a little bag. I just put in here some New Zealand money, because when I love money from different countries. I always think it's quite funny to see other countries' money. And then just a little collage with lots of pictures of us. And then that's kiwi, our national bird. So Where in the World is New Zealand? Not sure if I'm getting this. So we're here. We're that little country right down the bottom. So there's the States, there's Europe, there's Australia, South America, and there's us. So we are a separate country from Australia, just in case you thought we were the same. We're not. We're different. We're just, we're like cousins. So that's all pictures of New Zealand. And then this is all packaging that I saved, so all just New Zealand packaging. Hopefully some of it is different, probably not. And then what I used, I made them into pockets and just tucked in some photos and some pictures of different things that I found of our country. So this one here, I had to include this because this is a beautiful house in Dunedin and I really love visiting it, and it's all pretty much original. This family, when they died, the lady of the house, that was her parents' house, and when she died she left everything to the city of Dunedin, so nothing changed. It was just as they had lived in it, which I love. So I had to tuck that in because that's my favourite house. And then in here I've got lots of postcards. There's Wellington Harbour, and I've got lots of pictures of scenery and stuff, so I tucked that in to show you that we have actually got some culture in New Zealand. We've got this fantastic museum called Te Papa, and there it is there. So it's a fantastic place if you come into New Zealand. If you come into Wellington, make sure you go to Te Papa. So then lots of just random pockets. This is New Zealand's only castle, and that's in Dunedin as well, and it looks Photoshop, but it is actually a photo of Dunedin. Isn't it stunning? And there's Wellington. These are all upside down. So Wellington, there's birds of New Zealand, there's New Zealand, and there's some more of Wellington. So I live in Wellington, so that's why I've got more photos of us than anyone else. But I have got Paihia, which is beautiful, and then there's an Auckland shot and our fabulous, fabulous Waitomo caves. Have I got anything in there? And there's a postcard of Lake Taupo. Lots of cool stuff to do up there in a very pretty place. And this one I had to put in, Lord of the Rings. We're real movie buffs in our house and we're really into films, and we loved the Lord of the Rings films. They were made in New Zealand and we're very, very proud of them. So I put in the Weta Workshop, which is where they make some incredibly talented, amazing things, and then just some fun stuff for the Lord of the Rings. So there's a farm tour which goes to Hobbiton, and Lord of the Ring tour, Wellington Rings tour, and then also just chucked in a travel map of New Zealand, just in case, Rose, you happen to be coming our way. Then I've got your map and I've all got you set up to come. And in here, just some things about us. And then more goodies all about New Zealand again. So Maori Village, National Army Museum, which is cool, Te Poia, our heritage, the Wellington cable car, and I put this one in because I thought she was really cool, and also I thought these maps were really cool. They've got a really neat vintage look to it, and I like the colouring, so I thought you might like those just to rip them up and play with. So nothing in here is precious. You can have a read through it, you can rip it up, you can use it, you can do whatever you like with it. Just a little collage of New Zealand again. And then I found some vintage New Zealand stuff. So this was a paper bag that I had in my stash, so I copied it because I wanted to keep it. It's actually like about 30 years old, and I put it onto a tab so you can just slice it off there if you want and just use it as a bag, because I thought it's quite cool. And then I made you a little pile of goodies in here of anything that I had that was a little bit more vintage in vintage New Zealand. So there's a picture of our Christchurch Cathedral from 1900, and sadly Christchurch suffered a devastating earthquake and a lot of their beautiful buildings are very badly damaged. It is still a very difficult time for Christchurch, so I wanted to remember them. And these are copies of stamp envelopes that I have from a few years ago. Just trying to see if there's a year there, 57. So I thought these were neat, and you might like to cut those stamps and those little images out, and all those images that they might be good for altering and using in your work. And then just some photos of vintage New Zealand. And then there's some more goodies. Thought that was really cool. Health stamps. And this is from an old advert that I have, so for a book, and there's some recipes there. So this is not aged by me. This is the age of the ad. So I thought that was quite a cool one that you could use. It could be a background, and you might like to use that for altering. And then these are a pile of stamps, old stamps from the 50s and back, so I thought that could also be quite cool as a background, that you might like to use those. That might be fun. So they're just fun things. If you can use them, great. If not, doesn't matter. And then vintage stuff. So this is bits and pieces from my vintage stash, and also there's some spare pieces of the paper so that you can have a play with that paper, and a few Paris images that I've got cut up. What have I got in here? So they just tuck in there, and then I found another piece of paper just before, so I tucked that in there for you as well. And then a little Tim Holtz stash. So that's just some Tim Holtz paper, because I know you love them. And then here is a few bits and bobs from my vintage collection. Just from different things that I've got, old postcards, a bit of Tim Holtz paper, some old vintage images, and just different things. So that is just some vintage goodies, and there's a few more just to tuck in there that I thought you might like. If you like vintage bits and pieces, they might come in handy. And then that's the end of the book. So that is what I did for a New Zealand book. I'm not going to get it all back together now. sorry, clonk, clonk, clonk. I just want to quickly show you what I made as well. So I made up these little little bags to send off to Rose and just put some goodies inside them, and I've just been, every time I come past them, I just keep trying to work them to just to fray them a bit more and stamp them up. So they came up really quite cute, so I was quite pleased with those. And just tie them up with ribbon so that nothing's attached, so that Rose can just use the ribbon and take the ribbons off, and if she wants to use the bags she can, and if she doesn't she can just, it was just a bit more fun than wrapping paper. And so that one's quite nice, and it's just made into a pocket. So I thought that was quite cool, and then you can take the goodies out from the top. So, oh, and these are the goodies. Isn't that gorgeous? Looks like a French boudoir, doesn't it? So that's some little bits I made for her just to tuck in there. But I thought that would be quite neat. I might do a mini book out of that shape and just put some grommets here and make some books. So that'll be my next project. I need to get cracking and get on to my next project. So thanks for watching. This is my Fun New Zealand book and my goodies for my swap. So these goodies are going over to the States and going to visit Rose, so hopefully you like them. As I said, Rose, this one's just for fun. Do whatever you like with it, honey. I don't mind. It's not precious. It's just a bit of fun. So hope you like your stuff. Hope you like your swap. I can't wait to get my swap book. And thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to be putting this up once Rose gets it, so that she's the first person to see it. And hopefully by the time this goes up, she's happy. So thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.